And we are back with yet another episode of R&R. It's Jamerson Ballard. I'm the host. How y'all doing today, man? Shout out to the Red Gang. Shout out to the Club, man. Glad y'all was able to make it. And we got a great show for y'all today. I don't know how lengthy it's going to be, but there's some things that need to be addressed. And I'm here to address them. At R&R, we don't pull punches. So if you got thin skin, I don't know. Like, I'm not here to beat up on nobody, bro. But like I said, we're gonna take some notes. We're gonna crack some jokes. Today's episode is entitled "What Got You Here Will Not Get You There." Yeah, let that sink in for a minute. And it's not the clickbaitiest title, and it's not necessarily for everybody. You know what I mean? Um, and it's simple. I'll explain it. It's not complicated at all. It's just a lot of us are trying to figure out and it's kind of hoping that things turn out okay. And a lot of you niggas is hoping to just fail up. If I'm being honest, you're just not motivated enough to do something. And you think that you got all the time in the world to do all this shit that you have, that's what you would like to do, but you're not doing anything about any of it. You're just sitting there dreaming and contemplating and drifting, passing time, just thinking that at some point you're going to become the person that you're trying to be by not doing any of the things that would cause you discomfort right now. You're in for a rude awakening. Okay. You're here now, and here is fine. But here, for a lot of y'all, is just waking up and going to work on time. If you're on time, and you're really just existing and you're thinking about getting more money, you want more money, things are getting more expensive, this shit is getting more difficult, and just enough is not going to get you by, almost even, let alone 10x. Why would I want 10x, you say? Because for a lot of you, you don't understand this, and I'm starting to understand it, but 10x is easier than 2x. Mm. What? Yeah, it's and you say, I don't know, Jamerson. It sounds ridiculous, but you've done it before. You've done it before. You're walking, ain't you? For those of us that can walk or have at least learned how to walk. I'm not trying to offend people that can't walk, don't walk, right? I have issues with walking, but I'm using this as an analogy, but it's very real. You went from nothing to crawling, which is great, right? As a kid. You don't remember this, but you know how to do it. You went from crawling to walking. You're getting places way faster walking than you did crawling. And it really takes less effort when you think about it, because you got four limbs doing what the limbs, two limbs, the job that two limbs can do. If you eliminate actions from the upper half of your body for moving, and you stand up, balance, and use your legs for what they were created for, which is and they are designed to carry your weight. But if you never learn how to walk, you would still be just crawling around here, getting to places at a speed of a snail, probably. You know, and granted, you've seen people around you doing the walking thing if you got siblings or even if you have parents. So you know, you see that it's doable. So you understand what I'm going with this? And then like, okay, so if you was to take walking to driving a vehicle. That's another 10x. Because 2x will be running, right? Which is faster, but it's like it takes more effort because you haven't figured out what vehicle you would need to utilize in order to do the 10x thing. And that could go in so many different areas of life. But what I'm really saying though is you have to learn because I'm doing the same thing. I have to learn how to eliminate the actions from one area or like use the effort that I would be using for that and where do it need to be placed so that I can 10x this whole thing. And for some of us, the question is not what you know or what you should do or what to how who is the more important question. Who do you help? Because a lot of you I know you're trying to figure out your thing, but in reality the quickest way to become a millionaire is by helping other people reach their goals. And it's like, what the fuck? Yeah. And it's like you're giving away stuff, and it's like but you have to, you'll never get it by holding on to your gift so tightly that nobody else can benefit from it. You understand? And so, as much as it is about yourself, you need to figure out how to be of service to and it don't necessarily have to be an like like an action. It could be a device or something, but would also multiply your ability to help people is by creating a device that would help people or things like this. You know what I mean? They're children that do it. I had a guy I spotlighted him on my show as you know as the activated individual of the week. A kid who wasn't out of high school yet, but he figured out it was a problem that he needed that would needed to be solved, and it was a device that he placed on the door jamb to prevent the door from being open, and the schools are about to start implementing it in their schools. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't remember exactly which episode it was, but I'm sure it was in like the last season. It's just that is the type of things that need to be brought to the surface, but discomfort has to happen first. And so last episode, I was talking about how people dodge difficulty, and that's fine, but your blessing is sometimes within the difficulty that you were able to overcome. But in order to overcome it, you have to be placed in it first. And if any of us could choose it, none of us would choose difficulty. We would all choose the easy route. And I don't fault you for that, but that's just what got you here will not get you there. And there will have to be a push. And it's better when it comes from you and you engineer it instead of letting things happen to you. And now you have to just focus up, tighten up, you know, read up and figure out where what you have uniquely would be a best utilized. And voila, you've created value by solving a problem. You know, what problems around you need to be solved? You know, whenever I had an issue when I couldn't figure out how to help me, I would almost directly like find someone in the vicinity that was worse off than me, and I would help them, and that would open up my karma, I guess you could say, for me to receive something. This is no different. I'm not explaining a something that you can't grasp or do. It's just it would require you to be less selfish than you are, and then not just dwell within comfort, because then you there is a heaven that you should seek out, but for a lot of you, you're just okay with the familiar hell that you're in, and you'd rather deal with that than ex, explore and seek out where this heaven might be, or what this. You understand what I'm saying? You're too busy. You're just comfortable in this familiar hell, as opposed to taking on new challenges in order to find where because happiness, the pursuit of happiness, is what it says in the Constitution. The pursuit of happiness. How do they know it was a pursuit? Because happiness, it doesn't stay in the same place long. You cannot be. Um, there are guys that aren't cool with this, and I'm not, and they are regular guys, and that's fine. I'm not regular though, so I'm speaking to you who aren't run of the mill individuals and regular guys. You're above average. You need to act like it. You know, because there are things that need to be done that only you can do, and you don't have all day to figure it out and do it, or you know. So that's whoever it's for. I implore you to do these things, but um, some of you are the victim of procrastination, and again, like I said, it has to be some pain in order for a lot of you to move. That's the only way a lot of things grow. Muscles grow like that. You have to work out to failure. And you fail right in the beginning of your workout, you work till you fail, like, and then your body gets a signal that tells your muscles, oh yeah, we need to give this area some human growth hormone so we can have more strength there, because we can't keep having that. That could be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily want to be the kind of person that wait until pain happens and you get evicted, or you know what I'm saying, before you start making changes. But for a lot of you, a great many of you, that's probably that's what's going to have to happen. But I'm here to facilitate the process. Warning comes before destruction. Don't let you know procrastination bite you on your ass before you decide you want to do something or you need to do something. But that's all I got for the rant part. We're going to go on to the segment I like to call "Is That Right?" Is that right? Brought to you by Kicks, the the luxury shoe brand, brought to you by yours truly. There will be a link in the description. You can check those out. I'll have another shoe dropping. Let's call it the beginning of next year. But get these while they still, and they'll always be available. But grab you a pair, man. Show your love and your support, because I'm a well, I should save this for Celebrity Spotlight, but I'm gonna say this, bro. Kanye West has a new shoe that has dropped, and God, it is horrific, bro. I don't know if y'all seen it. If you look it up right now, you'll see it. The motherfucker look like a work shoe. My shoes are way doper than that. But I know and I understand that people are still going to buy the Yeezy shoe, even though it looked like the shoe you'd buy to wash dishes at a McDonald's. It looks like a slip resistant Walmart shoe. Not capping at all. I'm not exaggerating at all, bro. You know what? I'm gonna find it for you. I'm gonna show you the image of it, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. Because Y'all think this is a motherfucking game out here. Motherfuckers get comfortable and just do whatever and just give out whatever. I don't. You get to a certain point, you feel like you don't matter what you drop, motherfuckers gonna buy. And that's just it's unfortunate. I can't see how people get to the point where they just start believing their own hype. It's really ugly though. This the shit right here, bro. All right, I'm gonna share my screen with y'all now that I found this one. And I'm gonna let you see what I'm talking about, man. Tell me what you think in the comments. I done veered off a little bit just so y'all can see how lazy this shit is. But I think this is necessary. Look at this shit. Can you see this shit? Look at that shit. What that shit look like to you? That don't even look like a fly dishwasher shoe. Niggas was saying like maybe in a different colorway. It'll look raw. I can't see it. Oh, yeah. I'm not feeling it. I can't. My skill zooms and ends and outs ain't really all that I would like for them to be at this point. But we're gonna keep working on it. But I think y'all seeing what I needed y'all to see. They're horrific. They're disgusting. But we love Kanye, I think. You know, he was right about some things. We're not gonna address that right now. Right now, we got some other things on our plate because let me see. They've they've done some things, I guess, as far as they've changed some laws when it comes to birthright citizenship. And that's interesting. Let's check it out. Because I guess it is no, that's not the one. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of different types of people trying to have children here in the country. You know what I mean? And I'm not necessarily pro Trump, but some of this shit I think is pretty spot on, and it needed to be done this way. Which you can disagree with me if you decide to. We're gonna look at it, but yeah, this it's kind of dangerous. Being here at this point in time with us having certain enemies and certain things that have been transpiring recently. Uh, we have to keep a close eye on who we allow.
President Trump has signed 2 executive orders aimed at limiting birthright citizenship. This is weeks after the Supreme Court rejected.
Now, I had the pause button pushed, but anyway, yeah. So
his earlier attempt to end it. One order targets automatic citizenship for certain children. The other cracks down on so-called birth tourism.
yeah, that's a new term that I haven't really heard of, but I understand why now that it's been broken down. What you got?
And there are other immigration policy changes also underway. News 8's Esmeralda Perez is in studio to break down what's changing.
Well, Carlo, there's a lot happening. Right now with immigration
I was gonna get on it, but I ain't gonna do it.
policies, I spoke with a local immigration attorney to break down who could be affected and what it means for people here in San Diego.
She probably don't want to hear none of this shit. Like, because they ain't finna get down on motherfuckers who just kind of try to get here to get pregnant and who have expiring visas, who try to get here, get pregnant, and then leave. Like, with the way they kind of coming in and taking kids that are now, I explained it like 2 episodes back. They'll take a kid that, from a space that hates us, create an American citizen who is now a dual citizen of this country and the Republic of Congo. Oh, Lord, I don't know who is in real beef with us right now. Think about it, but even let's say China. They got a Chinese baby. I mean, he's an American citizen. He's born here. If they leave things the way they are, and then he goes to China, gets indoctrinated with hatred, but he can come back and forth freely, even though we, you know what I'm saying? So he's like a double agent. And Trump has gotten ahead of it, but it's when you got like a wolf watching out, it's a lot harder for people to do outside people to do wolfy shit to us. But you got to watch his motherfucking ass. This one.
Very unfair decision. Our country suffers because of it, and we're ending it a different way.
President Donald Trump on the Supreme Court striking down his earlier order aimed at ending birthright citizenship. This week, he signed 2 executive orders. The first limits automatic citizenship for some children, including those born to parents with ties to foreign embassies or people the administration considers enemies of the U.S.
Trump is trying to say, well, those children will not be U.S. citizens under the new order. But of course, this order will also be a litigation, just like the June 6th order as well.
The second order targets so-called birth tourism and gives federal officials more power to deny visas and entry to those suspected of coming to the U.S. specifically to give birth.
If you're telling a consular officer you're here as a tourist, but your true purpose and intent is to go to a baby mill, give birth, and try to mint an American citizen while you're here, then you're committing a fraud against the American government.
Immigration attorney Habib Hasbini says the Department of State has had the discretion since 2020 to deny a tourist visa to anyone whose primary intent is to travel to the U.S. to give birth. But he says there is a new caveat.
If children born to those mothers, they are suspected that they lied on their intent when they had the interview back then, before they get the visa, they could deny those children the U.S. citizenship. So this is the only new added.
U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services now denying it.
See what when you trying your hardest to get access to a place, like I have issues sometimes understanding my value to a different individual. You understand what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't imagine somebody would want to have my baby without my permission. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why would they want to have my baby? Motherfucker, look at you. You know what I mean? Like, this is depending on who they're coming from, places like that have war torn or wherever. They're going to have different motives. Not of them are going to be honest. And a lot of people are like, oh man, the babies. But about the baby, people use their own kids as shields and things like that. Like, they sell their children. It's not. It shocks me to find out how many people don't really value their offspring like that, right? But they just will use them to get money or do whatever. Women that I've seen, in some of the worst cases, have done this, and it really don't surprise me no more. Call me jaded, whatever, but it just don't surprise me that what people will do and how far they will go in order to ensure that they have some type of advantage. You know what I mean? And I mean, like, you can't You can't beat a desperate motherfucker, bro. And I'm trying to beat that into the head of some of you out here that you're not desperate enough for the win, bro. You just show it up and you think, oh man, it's gonna happen. 20 years later, you still in the same spot. You might have gotten a $7 raise overall in that time. And that can't be good enough for the people that I'm talking to. But anyway, whatever. So that is happening. And I think it's being conflated with black people because it's like, but it has nothing to do with us. They, we're here. They might be harassing people that look like us because of their people are in Haitian area because they're looking for ICE looking for people that look like, they're Haitian, whatever. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of, you definitely have to look out for number one, but just understand that this is happening. This is happening. These things are happening. We as a people are largely out of harm's way, but it's just not safe for the individuals who are trying to connive and scheme. Now, that's not to say that this is foolproof. I'm pretty sure people still get through, but it does, seem and look like, there are serious efforts being placed, in order to kind of, keep us safe. And that is commendable. But that's one thing we got. Let me see. Another thing we got going on too is apparently they're trying to get the robotics into the country also. With this whole AI push, they're having to also restrict the amount of AI bots that are being produced from certain countries. They're having to restrict them so that they're not allowing people from hostile, because some of these countries that are producing robotics are hostile with us, and so let's check that out and see what else is going on as far as that, because it's just, again, and I'm not here to just talk about bad news, right? What I'm doing is just letting you know that with the expansion of new abilities, there has to be safeguards in place. You know what I mean? And with you, as you expand your brand, you'll have to start being more precise about the type of friendships and alliances you want to allow into your life. You'll have to get a lot more strategic about, and you can call it what you want to. Some of you will go, oh man, that's not cool. That's just my friend. What? Man, to get to another level, you'll have to cut off so many different people. And not for some of the reasons you think. Me personally, I don't necessarily got to cut people off. When I focus up, which would be a lot like somebody that, let's take an eagle. Because it's capable of flying higher than all the other birds. If a crow starts annoying an eagle, I'm pretty sure he could just go high enough to where the crow can't keep up. You understand what I'm saying? You just gotta focus up, and you ain't gotta necessarily be trying to get rid of people. You just start focusing on what you need to do so much harder that what they doing and them trying to catch up with you, you'll be less concerned with that and more concerned with what you got going on. You'll make new friends. If you got all the friends you playing video games with, and you stop playing video games and you start focusing on what you're trying to do with your life more, you won't have to worry about finding new friends, bro. But on your way up, you're going to have to detach yourself from certain individuals, and you have to restrict entry into your life. We're doing some of those same things. I like how that tied into the conversation. But anyway, let's look at that right quick, right? Okay, this is the story right here. Share my screen. Shout out to StreamYard too, y'all. There'll be a link in that too. If you guys decide that you want to take the path that I've taken, use my link in StreamYard and you'll get a percentage off StreamYard. If you're already an established YouTuber and you haven't considered using StreamYard, please consider doing so. It'll help us out here. And we appreciate all the help we can get. Yeah, man. You a leader in your house, bro. You got things going on. You can't just let everybody come to your crib. You can't just let everybody in your mental space. You have to be more diligent about where you go, how you move, you know?
The U.S. now going America first on robots, from humanoids to your Roomba.
The Roomba is made for challenges like this.
As the Federal Communications Commission moved to ban new foreign-made mobile robots, citing unacceptable risks they pose to economic and national security.
Mitigating our dependency and vulnerabilities going forward.
The ban affects all foreign tech, but most heavily impacts China, a robotics juggernaut that's estimated to control about 85% of the global market for humanoid robots. Tom, on a recent trip to China, seeing the robots for himself.
You're going to put these faces, these heads on the robots?
Yeah, like in the future.
The ban doesn't affect existing products already sold here, but would include new mobile mechanical devices over a certain weight, meaning humanoids, dog-like robots with 4 legs, but also swept up in the ban any new version of smart vacuums, including Roombas.
They can create.
Oh yeah, they don't trust shit. I'm with that. I fuck with that heavy. You know, fuck the Roomba. Search that motherfucker too. Yeah, but it's sweep the floor. I don't give a fuck. Turn that motherfucker over. Open it up. Let me see what's going on in that bitch.
Maps of our houses. They have cameras on them. They can be sending data back to their whatever companies they're made from. So that's where the real concern, I think, can be with the robot vacuums.
NBC News chief tech analyst Joanna.
Hold on, can y'all hear that? I'm trying to deal with this. Certain videos might play a little bit louder than other ones, so y'all have to kind of bear with me.
Stern has tested both American-made and Chinese-made vacuums and says the ban is going to cost customers.
It means that some of the most affordable robo vacuums that they could get, they might not be able to get soon.
Beijing now threatening to retaliate as the robot race hits a new stride. Brian Chung, NBC News.
Yeah, everybody trying to win the AI race, bro. You know, and it is largely going to be, you know, some money lost. But, and I don't necessarily trust America, but I'm going to have to go American made, bro. If I have to spend a little bit more to do that, I will do that. I'm just not going to, cheap is, you get what you pay for. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, man, but peace of mind, it ain't necessarily expensive, but it might cost you more on the front end. You know what I mean? To get it the way you want it. I didn't want HOA fees, man. I know that it would have probably been just something that a lot of people don't consider that. Me personally, when I bought my crib, bro, I don't need no motherfucker coming by my house telling me when to cut my grass and how high it can be and if I can get these windows installed or excuse me. I bought this motherfucking house. It's mine. I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do with it. And I'm just fortunate enough to live in a neighborhood with other people who don't also need to be told how to keep their yards together and do things properly because, it's annoying. But that's just, I'll pay more on the front end to save myself some bullshit on the back end. Period. Next story. We have, well, there are some concerns when it comes to AI in a different way, and it is going to be a day soon when your encrypted passwords will no longer be of very much use with this thing called quantum computing. Yeah, I know. And it's like, wow, what? Yeah. In a few years, all them passwords that you got to keep your shit safe, your banking, your Instagram, all this other shit. There is a computer that is intelligent enough to hack all of that. It's out right now. The computer is so capable, bro. It's like it's ridiculous. It could be ones and zeros at the same time. I don't know if you've ever heard of this before, but we're gonna listen to this guy, and this is this is not again to make anybody paranoid. It's just this is what comes with the advancements that we have sought out and built and created. There, a lot of you niggas is you ain't thought of no password in years. You've been letting Google do it. So you know you had to get in your shit. You wouldn't know how to do it unless Google told you. You trust Google too motherfucking much, man. Yeah, I said that shit. You trust Google too motherfucking much. And your little punk ass passwords, you can't use the same password for every motherfucking app, bro. But at any rate, let's just get to the story. I'm not trying to criticize y'all, but these computers and this AI shit is gone past out of hand. But motherfuckers gonna learn. Now, y'all have to understand these people are these aren't American reporters, so they have an Australian accent. Please bear with me. Okay.
Drained, your private information hacked, and all the digital encryption that protects banks and the military and governments being stripped away. That's a big worry for what's called Q Day.
It's the day.
Yeah, Q Day is what they call it. But did you hear all that shit she named off that extra important to our, like, you know, the safety of our country and well-being? Ooh.
Quantum computers outsmart all layers of digital security we've built to keep important data under lock and key. And cyber experts warn it's coming sooner than we think.
Here we go.
Thank you, John.
Well, welcome to the Superconducting Quantum Circuits Laboratory at the University of Sydney.
This is where the magic happens.
That's right.
A laboratory. It's laboratory, motherfucker.
We're looking here at one of the refrigeration systems for the quantum technology that's being developed here in this lab.
It's incredible.
Actually, this is the least exciting bit of the quantum computing field.
I got at her. Okay, this ain't where you get on my dick yet. This is actually this is like some of the ball here. Don't trip. I ain't pulled my dick out yet. No.
Plated and as shiny as a chandelier. If this is the least impressive part of a quantum computer, wait until you hear what the machine is designed to do.
A new type of computer that can do things that even the largest supercomputers that we have on the planet today can't do.
Basically, a problem solver on steroids. When built at large scale, the technology will one day be able to come up with solutions to incredibly complex problems in minutes instead of years.
So it's going to.
That is so awesome and wonderful. But the question that comes immediately to my mind is why in the fuck would something that is that much smarter than its creator stay in control of that individual, unless it was the individual and his team they structure some type of firewall. But I think I may have mentioned this on another show last last season, that whatever safeguards you put up for a normal computer, I mean, it wouldn't take this thing. I think it said it becomes 100 years smarter, like every 5 minutes or some shit like that. Like, so it would only take this thing. We've been around, let's say 5,000 years. Let's just say that. Let's just say before, let's say 7,000 years plus, right? 7,000 years. How long? Let's see, 100 years, 5 minutes, bro. Less than 24 hours, this thing would have us down, bro, and to a science almost. Anyway, who the fuck created this shit?
Benefit society. It's going to help us tackle problems that we can't do now.
Billions of dollars have been poured into the global race to build the technology. John Bartholomew and his University of Sydney team are part of the push.
If we get it right, then there are really disruptive things that these quantum computers are going to be able to do.
The power is held in this tiny chip.
That lives kind of down here on the coldest part of the fridge, is kind of protected by various layers of shielding.
When the freezer's turned on, it's one of the coldest places in the universe.
Down at this level here, we can actually get to temperatures which are about 100 times colder than the coldest thing that we've seen in outer space.
And why does it need to be so cold?
Yeah, so that cooling allows us to protect the fragile quantum information from heat, essentially.
The tech is still being developed with the ultimate goal of shaking up science and chemistry. Incredible power for good, but could it be used for evil?
So basically, if this motherfucker start tripping, just turn the air off, and it ain't about shit. That's what I heard. I don't know what did you hear when you heard? Because I'm like, this motherfucker got to be the coldest cold in order for it to function properly, or so yeah. I'm just gonna remember that part, but let's continue.
Wake up and your bank accounts are emptied out. Everything that you've ever put into your emails, into your secure communications, would all just be out there for everyone. It would be a massive disaster.
That is what cyber experts call Q-Day.
Everything that keeps our bank account balances nice and safe. Everything that stops criminals listening to our phone calls, that's encryption. Encryption is keeping it safe. A quantum computer could theoretically crack that in seconds, and that will be Q-Day.
There's no better man to explain this than Bastien Treptel. He used to be a criminal hacker.
This is a key.
This shit. Now he didn't bust it over to the good guys. Shout out to the bad guys who get jammed up so bad that they got to be good now. Because it's like you facing 1,000 years for all the crimes that you did. Now you can either work for us or you can die here. And he said, "Man, what y'all need me to do?" So but yeah, that's basically what he on. He's like, I don't know, a scammer that turned good.
Okay. And we would have set this up in between their keyboard and their computer, and that way I can sit outside in a van and get all their key logs. This is a way to hack radio signals. This is a device that cloned your cards to get in and out of buildings.
At 14, he hacked the Commonwealth Bank, stealing the details of 40,000 cards. Now he works with the big banks to protect them.
I was never malicious. In fact,
you hear the music in the background, that let you know that nigga was vicious. But he just human. You know what I mean? So now they didn't have to hire a vicious, criminalistic human to help us against a computer that they made. That shit is crazy, bro. That's like, that's the devil. You know what I mean?
The only thing that I ever used was essentially to buy pizza and pay for some education.
But he wasn't a bad devil. He was, he was just hungry. No, he's not a devil. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying, like, that's kind of, to me, that kind of looked like how God uses the devil. He works for God. If you don't know that, if you don't understand that, it's like he used to be God's defense attorney in heaven, which is why he was so tight. He defected, got cast down, and it's like when it's time to test you, he come, but he can't do nothing to you. He just, you know what I mean, pressure you up and then see if you're gonna fold up or not. Some of you niggas be folding too much. You scared of the wrong shit. But anyway, we're gonna get back to this.
And for me, it was about curiosity. Can I actually get in?
According to Bastian, Q-Day will arrive sooner than most believe.
I think we will have viable quantum computing within 5 years.
This quantum computer is going to be very disruptive.
Q-Day sounds catastrophic. Should we really be that worried?
So I think we should be worried in the same way that we were worried about Y2K. If we ignore them and we just say everything's going to be fine and don't take any action, that there would be consequences.
John believes if companies update their encryption methods now, they won't need to worry about Q-Day.
It's not.
That's the key, right? You probably didn't hear that the way you should have, right? But I'm listening, and it's basically saying, like, instead of waiting until this becomes a problem, let's get ahead of it and, raise all of our firewalls to a certain extent. That way, when we release this thing, it can do good. It won't be tempted as much to do harm within banking and things like that. If we just raise our firewalls to a point where it's like, it's not this. If this ain't what you're looking for, this is not what you want. Don't come in here. It's gonna cost you too much. You're not, but we're talking about AI, bro. It can do that, trying to get in all day if it's decided that's what it wants to do, or it becomes one of its objectives in order to like complete another objective, So it's dangerous and it's scary. It's not nothing to really worry about. I'm just arming you with the information so that you know that these things are coming down the pipeline and you need to batten down the hatches, right? I don't exactly know what that looks like altogether, but I do understand, like, like I haven't been bipped because I haven't been in the town and since they started bipping. And if, for those of you who don't know what bipping is, that's like when you got a car and an individual that once was inside of your car takes maybe a spark plug and they hit the window. They've done it before in other areas, but that wasn't the name they used for it. Now in the town, Oakland, California, that is, they call that act bipping, right? BIPPIN. And I mean, it's going crazy in the town. You can't even keep nothing in your car. If they see anything of value in your car, they bip in your car. You come back out from your car, you've been to the movies, you got glass all in the street or around where your car is, and your little backpack is gone. That might have had your laptop in it or something. You know what I'm saying? They see anything that might be something that could have something in it, they're going in it. So what people do out there is basically roll all your windows down and take everything of value out of the car. It's not stored in the car no more. It's either on you or you don't need it. And that's how you have to kind of get to where it's like you're minimalizing your life to where you don't have all these things of value in a technological safe space that you think that is going to be protected from AI. You have to get maybe like a hot wallet or a cold wallet. If you got Bitcoin, things like that, prepare yourselves in that way. Remember your passcode, but keep it offline. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to make sure that you're tight, and I'm not saying take all your money out of banks and put it in your house. What I am saying though is you might have to figure out a way to tie your money up in real estate instead of sitting it in the bank, or put it in stock or something so that it's working for you instead of just sitting it in the bank. Like, you know what I mean? Or things like that. You have to be more creative with your money, and instead of having it all in one spot, put it to work. That way it's moving and it's growing. And it's like, at any rate. There's a couple more things that are of some concern to me. They aren't as important as the things that just named off, but they're important. One of them is there's a new study about sweeteners that have been linked to brain aging. So we're going to talk about that for those of you who are concerned about that. And for those of you who are not, I understand. But yeah, if you drink Diet Coke and shit a lot, you might want to pay attention to this part. Because this is something you would be interesting in learning. If you don't want dementia and shit when you get old, I don't want that shit. I want to be able to do shit and remember that I did it, and know, and expect the outcome because I did it with intention, not.
Slump, open the refrigerator and reach for a Diet Coke or another zero sugar drink. No sugar, few if any calories, so it can feel like the healthier choice, right? Well, a large study is raising new questions about what some of the sweeteners inside those products could mean for your brain over time.
Yeah, let's take a closer look here at what they found here. Researchers from the University of Sao Paulo in Brazil followed nearly 13,000 adults for about 8 years. The participants were 35 to 74 years old with an average age of 52. They reported what they ate and drank, then completed tests.
So this is in Brazil, which, let's just go with it.
Measuring memory, verbal skills, and how quickly they could process information. Researchers focused on 7 low and no calorie sweeteners, including aspartame, which is commonly found in diet drinks. Now, the people who consumed the most experienced a 62% faster decline in overall thinking and memory skills than those who consumed the least. Researchers say that difference was comparable to about 1.6 additional years of cognitive aging. Even the middle group experienced a faster decline.
But there are some important things to understand before you pour every diet drink down the drain. First, this was not a Diet Coke study. These sweeteners are found in everything from flavored water and energy drinks to yogurt, protein products, and low-calorie desserts. Second, the study found a connection. It did not prove artificial sweeteners caused the decline. The strongest association also appeared among people younger than 60 and those with diabetes. Researchers did not find the same link among participants older than 60.
The study.
So, with people with diabetes and things like that, you just can't have sugar, right? But you're drinking these other things that, and I don't think they're going to say which ones cause what here. But the key though is to, if you're not drinking it often enough, it doesn't really matter. It's not a long-term deal. It's just like something you drink off. You go to wherever you go and they don't have the Coke that you like or whatever, you get Diet Coke today. That's not the people that they're talking about, the people that are long-term users. So all of you who not even abuse, but you just that's all you drink is Diet Dr. Pepper, Diet Coke. We need to figure out which one of these sugars or these artificial sugars or sweeteners is causing the problem so that you can avoid those. But this is keep going.
His author says these findings do not mean an occasional diet soda is harmful or that everyone should just suddenly quit. Instead, the research really raises questions about frequent, long-term consumption. So again, before you empty the refrigerator, researchers really want to be clear here. This study identified a relationship between higher artificial sweetener consumption and faster cognitive decline, but it did not prove those sweeteners were the cause.
Yeah, they say more research is needed before drawing that conclusion. In other words, it's a reason to pay attention, not a reason to panic.
More research to be done, I think.
Yeah, if you on some old shit, you know, and you don't want to gain no weight, I get it, but you know, because it's in artificial sweeteners that is in, you know, not just drinks. You know what I mean? Anything that has artificial sweeteners in it, you know. So just, boy, that's the cold bag to carry, man. You can't have sugar, but you still want something sweet. So y'all here. Do what you got to do to manage your health properly, so you don't have to worry about those type of things altogether. And for those of you who are born with and can't help it, we're sorry. I'm not trying to depress you. I just want to arm you with the information. Now, there is one more thing. Again, it's in health, but it's a new weight loss procedure that has been highlighted, and I'm gonna share it with y'all because you know it's new, but it's not as dangerous or as intrusive as you know, a guy or you know, like when they make your stomach smaller or have to do surgery. This is not surgery, but it kind of accomplishes the same goal. And let's check it out so we can see what's going on. You know, some of you might be having issues with getting with losing weight, and you can't go. You're not trying to go to whatever it is, as far as like you're not trying to go the chemical route, right? You're not trying to use the Ozempics and all of those things. There is another option. So let's see what that is. You can decide for yourself if that's a route that you want to go.
Pictures of Miguel Rosario are hard to come by. This one from Carnival in Colombia is one of few before shots he has.
When you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, oh my God.
Between surgery, pills, injections, and fad diets, he was overwhelmed with options, but determined to make a change.
I really wanted to lose the weight. I had to.
He was the perfect candidate for a procedure available at several Philadelphia hospitals, including Temple Health.
This comes in as like this, we call bridge the gap between the medication world, which is really blowing up right now, and the surgery option. And this comes in as this nice middle ground.
It's called endoscopic sleeve gastroplasty. No surgery, no weekly injections, and you're
I
back
hear
on your
that.
feet within hours.
That was a lot of words, but they'll probably say it again. But see how they basically took some sutures and they sewed them into the stomach and pulled them tighter so to make the stomach smaller.
They can go back to work within a day or two. They go home same day.
Dr. Mayada Ismail is one of the gastroenterologists performing the procedure, which is done through the mouth with an endoscope.
We attach a device we call the end of stitch device to the scope, and we go through the mouth and we make the stomach smaller by placing sutures along the lining of the stomach, make it smaller.
In Miguel's case, it worked right away.
I'm not hungry for hours. I must have dropped 15 pounds on the first week alone.
While it's not as effective as weight loss surgery,
the weight loss is not as much as surgery, and I tell all my patients that.
It leads to about the same results as GLP-1s, just faster.
The key difference that I tell patients is this is not a forever commitment, where the medications are.
For people who don't have weeks to recover from something like gastric bypass surgery or don't want to commit to using injections for the rest of their lives, Dr. Ismail says this is a revolutionary option. Miguel's after pictures speak for themselves, and his health stats agree.
Diabetic, high blood pressure, cholesterol, and all that's down, all of it. 15 years I couldn't wear this shirt. I had to put it on today. I'm happy. I'm very happy right now, man. I really am.
Bro, put the shirt on he couldn't wear it in a minute. I know the feeling, brother. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all for Is That Right? The next segment is Celebrity Spotlight. Now, Celebrity Spotlight is kind of tricky today. It's not a lot, but it's some things that I don't know how YouTube is going to feel about me disclosing these things. So, I do have the ticker in place. These opinions are not my opinions. I just reporting the news. Now, is that right? I'm sorry. Celebrity Spotlight is brought to you in part by Acquisition, unisex fragrance brought to you by yours truly. It is one of two in the new fragrance line that I'm developing. And the second is called Debauchery. Now, Debauchery is also available. These fragrances are available for sale now. You can cash at me or, message me on either Facebook or Instagram. You can either email me at mr.j.c.r.b@gmail.com, and we'll discuss how you want your order and how fast you need it. But yeah, that being said, there is some light shit, and then we're gonna get into some semi-heavy shit because it's just kind of. I don't really like talking about certain things because I'm not exactly trying to make people sad, but it's tough, man. It's tough how some of these people are trying to do to make it, and I'm here telling y'all to do things the right way, and it's people that are out here cheating, but there are consequences to trying to cheat, and we're gonna talk about some of those right now. In Celebrity Spotlight. But before we get to those things, right, there are a couple of things that are actually pretty funny to me that happened. One of which being an ex-NFL player was caught doing the wild thing in public at a bowling alley, bro. And it's actually pretty fucking funny, if you ask me. It's gross, but it's funny. You know what I mean? Whatever. I don't know what hole he was in, but bro was apparently for the looks of his face. Nah, I ain't gonna assume that. It looked kind of silly though. Let me see.
Out at a bowling alley, ending with handcuffs instead of high scores.
Police say a former NFL player and his girlfriend are now facing charges after they were caught, allegedly, doing something in plain view. Local 10's Jeff Dedarian live in Pembroke Pines with the shocking details. Jeff?
Yeah, hey there, guys. This is a talker, pins, passion, and police. That's what we've got going on in this one. Also, a bartender who had to break up a risky romance.
Round one, bowling alley and arcade. A fun place for kids and adults, but what police say was happening here in late July was no family matter. Stedman Bailey, a former NFL player with the St. Louis Rams, and his girlfriend arrested for allegedly having sex inside the bowling alley in
Stedman Bailey. Y'all don't know who that is. Y'all know that is. Leave it in the comments.
plain sight. The girlfriend is
wow. Look at this lady, bro. Y'all, look at this, bro. Look at this. And I'm not here to shit on her. I'm just saying, this ain't her fault that she looked like this. This is what that man liked and want. He could probably have picked different, but she is what he liked, apparently. But let's go.
Karina Manderson. It was at this bar with customers around, we're told. According to the police report, Bailey had his pants down, and so did Manderson. And she was leaning over the bar, and Bailey was behind her. Folks at the mall today saying, wow is not a strong enough word.
They should have kept it at home, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, no, that type of stuff shouldn't be done in public.
Just your ass up. You look freaky as hell too with the small ass teeth and big ass gums. But Brett should have definitely. You couldn't have did it in the bathroom or something. Why aren't you out? It had to be on something, bro. He had to be on some kind of dope or something, bro. It don't make no sense.
Like, I think, wow.
We went to Bailey's house to get his side of the story. Gated, no access. At Manderson's house, here's what happened.
Hey, Karina. Hi.
Brett gated. He saving his house, but she exposed. See what I'm saying?
Darian from Channel 10. Can we talk to you about what happened at the bowling alley? The police report says the bartender at the bowling alley noticed what was happening and asked immediately that they stop, and they did. And then cops say they each pulled up their pants and left the area.
Pop, 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 pop. Like sound like an automatic weapon.
Not the first time.
That was hitting it like that. That's how fast he was struggling. Pop, 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 pop. Brett said it sounded like an automatic weapon, bro. Them is some short ass strokes, bro. That's not. You're not supposed to be. That's not something you want to see in public. That's not. You're supposed to be ashamed of that, and you do that at the house, bro. Dope. That's that dope.
Bailey's made TV headlines in 2015 in Miami Gardens. He was in a car with some other people when another car rolled up, opened fire. Bailey was in critical condition at the time and needed surgery. All right, both of these suspects are charged with sexual exposure. One thing we tried to find out during our fact gathering today, did they actually bowl? We don't know.
Bruh, they was not worried about no bowling, sir. You know, but they was, you know, it was some balls thrown, apparently. Yeah, it was, bruh. Pop, 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 pop. Who is fucking that fast, bro, unless you got a short stroke? You're not supposed to be fucking that fast, bro. And she, bruh. Anyway, that happened. I don't know who was looking for this, but I wanted to see this. And it was Sauce Walker and finally caught up with Ray J. And they boxed it out. They sparred it out to kill the phone. So we gotta look at that. We gotta look at that and see what that's about. Is that, bro? Orlando Brown supposed to be fighting him soon. I need to see. Because he didn't get no, it wasn't no fighting going on. Okay.
Come on, Trip. See, I don't want to do something.
Body.
No. Take advantage over cocky. Take advantage. Take advantage. For you, right? You can take the hit, man. There you go. There you go, right? There you go. There you go, right? There you go. Oh, there you go. Come. There you go.
Body shot.
I don't know if I'm ready for this fight.
Yeah, he's not ready. I mean, you know, you're not a fighter. You know, you Brandy's little brother. He got mad about that shit. Anyway, okay, so that's the fluff, but we got one more thing, And I don't know if y'all know anything about this disease they calling Kuru, bro. You ever heard of Kuru? I ain't either, man. But apparently it's something you get from eating human flesh. These motherfuckers is basically eating babies, bro. And it's I mean, you know, I don't get down on a lot of these individuals anyway, but apparently they just they're getting down on each other. And this is hold on, let me lock this and run it back. Yeah, that was a dude, I guess, that's out there in California entering all the female sports, just killing the female sports and setting records. That shit is ridiculous, bro. But we ain't talking about that right now. That's a whole nother topic. Apparently, this is who is this? I had it wrote down and everything. I'm still trying to see if I see the name. Where is it? I wrote it down. Oh yeah, that's Alicia Silverstone. It said in the comments over here too. See him. I'm guessing whoever the dude she mentioned, maybe her boyfriend or whatever. But yeah, they in the comments they was talking about how she. Let me see, hold on, if I can get one of the comments. Hold on. They're saying that she's Alicia Silverstone had became vegan in the 1990s, so she had been in Hollywood and knows Hollywood for a long time. I think she knows what she's speaking of. One of the other people was like, now I understand while in one interview, which they're talking about Ariana Grande, I guess, she was asked what was her favorite food and she started crying. Thought it was a bit strange at the time, but now it seems like it makes sense. Like, and I'm not here saying that this is the truth. I just ain't nobody gonna keep saying the same shit about a motherfucker and it ain't true, bro. I don't know. I'm not a fan of her. But okay, so here's another one, and this one is about Celine Dion, bro. Now they saying that Celine Dion also got the same thing. Now I don't know how credible these sources are, but I'm gonna let dude cook a little bit, and well, I don't know if this dude is telling the truth. I'm hearing in the scene in the comments that said something about this as being like they got this story from like those celebrity magazines that just be saying anything. I'm not saying that this is true, but I did pull this up because for him to explain more about Kuru and the disease and some of the side effects. And that would make sense if you eating too much human flesh and your human flesh body is trying to figure out what to do with it, and it's like it's probably confusing the body. But carry on. This is Celine Dion's new clothing line. I thought this was strange too. Yeah, now I'm not finna keep going into this too much. I just thought that was like, oh wait, are you serious? I didn't share my screen while I was doing that. Y'all have to forgive me, man. I'm so sorry. I thought for sure I was sharing my screen. Okay. Ooh, let's go back. All right. Well, let's just do this one over.
Olympic or something like that. Could this be caused by that?
See how skinny she is, bro. This is apparently.
Here it is, y'all. Another leaked photo for y'all. That is a transgender woman, and that is NBA Youngboy. So for y'all that don't believe it, man, NBA Youngboy is finally out of the closet, and it stands for nothing but ass.
Now, I've been telling y'all for a long time what these people are into. Celine Dion confesses on deathbed, I ate children to stay young. Now I'm dying. Now, she's not on her deathbed, but she's not doing too well these days. So it says she's dying of Kuru. What is Kuru? Kuru, a transmissible spongiform encephalopathy, is a disease of the nervous system that causes psychological and neurological effects, which ultimately lead to death. It is categorized by progressive cerebral ataxia, or a loss of coordination and control over muscle movements. Now, let's look into what somebody who actually confirmed has this looks like. Now, here's a child from Papua New Guinea with advanced Kuru. Now, Kuru, this disease is caused by eating humans, particularly advanced stages from eating human brains. So it's a cannibalistic disease. And based off her weird kid clothing line, I mean, look at this. You got your pyramids, you got your Knights of Malta signs, you got your New Order. I mean, they don't even try to make it, unobvious to you guys at all. They got the kids with the face coverings, Knights of Malta sign.
That I wanted y'all to see that in those things. But play this again. I guess I didn't.
Ariana is riddled with Kuru. She told me how she caught it. Oh my
This is Alicia, supposedly Alicia Silverstone saying all this.
gosh, they are a bunch of sick Ariana is in a bad way. Like really, truly bad. This tour she's doing, it's a goodbye tour. You understand what I'm telling you? She's saying goodbye because she has months, maybe less. And when they say she's stepping away to focus on her health, they aren't joking. They're covering. Here's the thing, guys. Ariana knows if she talks too much, if she names too many names, she doesn't even get those months. Guys, she's not strong because she's brave. She's strong because she's terrified.
So yeah, I mean, look, I get it. For those who are Ariana Grande fans, you probably don't want to hear none of that. And I'm not here to, to say that she is a horrible person. I just, what the fuck? Like I said, bro, it's not like people are continuing to make shit up about you. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. And I said the same thing about Michael Jackson. But with Michael Jackson, it came out recently that, and until now, I had reservations, but he, 10 years they was following and they couldn't find nothing. You know what I mean? This is crazy though, that these individuals are participating in some of the most heinous stuff, bro. And it's like, why aren't they being investigated for these crimes? Why are they still allowed to walk around and even die out in public of such a disease instead of them being arrested and going through it? It's probably because the people that they are entertaining are more powerful than the people that are, policing. And so, they're on the take. They, the supervisors are at the top. They're on it, so it never gets to where it has to be somebody like Nick Nolte or whoever is on the wire that just wants to do good police work, and in order for it to actually get done. But it's wild. And I don't know if you've heard anywhere else, but if you haven't, then you've heard it here first. But that's that. That's all for that. Now, on to a segment I like to call World. And today's worldview, it still doesn't have a sponsor. So if y'all need to sponsor a product on the show and you want to use your product, it will be good for worldview, let me know. Reach out. Again, my email address is M as in Marcus, R as in Ricky, .j.c.r.b@gmail.com. Anyway, there was a huge what is it? Earthquake in Cuba, or is it Cuba? In Colombia. And that's horrible. So we're gonna go look at that. There's also a scientist that is saying that SoCal might be not too far behind. So let's look to see what this lady has to say about that. She's a seismologist.
A powerful 7.4 magnitude earthquake struck the South American country of Colombia this morning, and today the death toll is climbing.
The quake struck the western region of the country, bringing down buildings and trapping people in the rubble. The newly installed president there has now declared a state of emergency. Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes joins us now with the latest on recovery efforts. Rob.
Yeah, the latest death toll tied to the earthquake has now surpassed 111. Colombia has declared a national disaster.
Oh, God.
7.4 is a very powerful.
111 people, but more. I feel like it's not loud enough.
Powerful quake, but experts say its depth may have lessened its blow. Scenes of terror as the earth started shaking and buildings started falling. A powerful 7.4 magnitude earthquake ripped across western Colombia, the epicenter about 250 miles away from the capital city of Bogota. The death toll consistently rising throughout the day as rescue teams scramble to pick through the rubble of collapsed buildings. This man emotionally shaken, saying a falling tower nearly crushed him when the quake hit around 7:30 this morning. One family stuck dangling hundreds of feet in the air in a gondola. Below them, the destruction clearly visible.
We're all just kind of in shock in this city.
California native Sam Simpson felt the quake in Medellin, where she has lived for 3 years now. Colombia's Geological Service called this the country's most powerful earthquake in the last decade, something Simpson can attest to.
We live in a high-rise building near the top, and so we just felt this sway that was like, it literally felt like our building was going to crack in half.
The intensity of today's quake, somewhat buffered by its depth. Experts say it originated more than 60 miles underground.
There were 1.5 million people who received intensity 7 shaking.
Caltech seismologist Lucy Jones says even though Venezuela also had 2 huge earthquakes back in June, these quakes are not out of the ordinary, but it serves as a good reminder to Southern Californians to be prepared for the big one, which could be even more devastating than what we're seeing in Colombia today.
We are going to have an earthquake this size, and we're going to be closer to it because we don't have deep earthquakes here. We only have the shallow ones, given what our tectonics are. And when you're close to a 7.4, we're talking intensity 9 or 10 shaking.
Meantime, Southern California firefighters are already packing their bags. LA County's Urban Search and Rescue Task Force 2 has been ordered to head down to Columbia to help find survivors.
So they borrowing our men and women from here to go down there and help find survivors. That is crazy, bro. That's just, man, be safe out here, bro. RIP to all the people that passed, and our prayers go out to the people who have survived and who need aid. I'm pretty sure if you find it in your heart to give, there are ways to give to the individuals down there. I would just make sure that the money that I'm giving is going to the relief efforts and not to fatten the pockets of people that are trying to take advantage of people who are trying to help, right? So that happened. But on a lighter note, there was, I don't know if y'all heard about this, because this was in Europe, right? Which is why it's in Worldview. But it was a dude that found it amusing to stand outside of a hospital dressed like a fucking Grim Reaper, and it fucked with people. Did y'all hear about that shit? I thought that shit was funny as hell, but if I was a motherfucker that was passing, that shit probably wouldn't be funny at all. And so they basically, I think they fined him like 20,000 pounds. I think they arrested him. Let's see. And this motherfucker act like his, he was supposed to be. He said he was supposed to be a crow. He was supposed to dress like a crow with some dumb shit. But then he,
after standing on a rooftop near a hospital for 50 minutes while dressed as.
This video is obviously
the Grim Reaper. He was fined 20,000 pounds. The incident occurred in the UK. A 26-year-old man wore a Grim Reaper costume and held a real sickle, standing on the top of a building facing the patients in the nearby hospital. Even more absurdly, it was reported that he remained motionless there for about as the Grim Reaper. He was fined 20,000 pounds. The incident occurred in the UK. A 26-year-old man wore a Grim Reaper costume and held a real sickle, standing on the
shit. You seen that shit outside Joe hospital window, motherfucker about to die from, heart shit or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, or any. You get scared for your life, you motherfucker fuck around and die just seeing that shit. Like, have a fucking heart attack or something. So they find his ass 20,000 pounds.
Top of a building facing the patients in the nearby hospital. Even more absurdly, it was reported that he remained motionless there for about 50 minutes, just holding the sickle and staring at the crowd in the distance. Many netizens expressed their inability to understand such behavior. As for patients and their families who are experiencing the pain of illness, seeing the Grim Reaper appear near the hospital might cause tremendous psychological pressure. Some even said that if a seriously ill patient saw this scene, they might mistakenly think that their or their family's life was coming to an end. At the subsequent hearing, the man claimed that he originally just wanted to dress up as a bird. However, since he did not cause any casualties, he was only fined 20,000 pounds. Some people think that although his behavior is strange, it did.
That's crazy. 20,000 pounds. That's, I don't know how much that is in American money. It's actually, the pound is more than $1. So it's probably closer to like 25,000 American, bro. Can you imagine? That'd be, man, that's an expensive ass practical joke. But that's all I got for Worldview. Next up is don't be a weirdo. Today's don't be a weirdo. We have a somewhat celebrity weirdo who did some heinous shit, and it's been all over the news. I don't know if y'all heard about it, but Sydney Starr is a trans man or trans woman, I'm sorry, that like apparently ruined Chingy's career years back by saying that, I mean, when he like took pictures with her on the stage, I don't know what happened, but she basically went on I say she, but was going around interviewing in interviews and saying that they was together instead of just saying it was a picture like it was and letting it be that, and got the man's career killed. But now she's trying to kill a young man's innocence, or maybe have killed it. The young man was SA'd by him. Let me see, man. So y'all can see who I'm talking about. But this is the weirdo of the week. So let's look at this and see what the fuck is going on. Because this person like lured this little boy in. And then, pull the bait and switch on him. Because look at this bride. You know what I'm saying? Look at this dude. Lip gloss and makeup and shit.
Love and hip hop star Sydney Starr, known as Sydney Favors, is facing multiple
grown men who know what a woman look like, is supposed to look like, was probably fooled by this dude. And this boy went to this lady room, and this was what was going on.
felony charges for allegedly abusing a child, according to Georgia court.
Look at this nigga. That's what it is. Nigga look like Big Meech without his beard, bro. And maybe like his eyebrows done. That's ridiculous, bro. That is ridiculous, bro.
Records viewed by Oxygen, Starr has been charged with sexual battery against a child under the age of 16, aggravated child molestation, and sodomy. Starr is a transgender.
So he didn't jam his functional penis into this little boy's rectum. Man, I hope he get exactly what's coming to him in there. I mean, if that's because anyway.
Model and TV personality who appeared on season 9 of Love and Hip Hop New York. According to a press release from the Hapeville Police Department, she was arrested on August 2nd after police were called to an Embassy Suites hotel in the greater Atlanta area on a report of a sexual assault involving a child. According to an arrest warrant, Starr confessed to the acts, telling investigators they were consensual. Authorities said in a press release, quote, "Because this case involves a juvenile, no additional information will be released from our agency." Starr is being held without bond at the Fulton County Jail. Her next court appearance is scheduled for August 25th. Her attorney did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
And that's the kind of bullshit you got to go through as an attorney. I wouldn't want to even represent this motherfucker, man, if I was an attorney. But at any rate, this nigga talking about it's consensual. Nigga, it's a kid. And it sounded like the little man changed his mind. But why is it that he would like allow a chick, supposedly, he probably went up there to get gunned down. I mean, to gun down something, and he getting gunned down? I ain't trying to promote violence, but that would yeah, you have to go. You'd have to go after that shit like that. I wouldn't be mad if the little niggas, grab some kind of fork or something and then stab this motherfucker to death. And that would be what they deserve. Even if they don't do something like the death penalty for that, right? They should definitely do chemical castration. Your dick should not be allowed to work no more if kids make your dick hard. That's out. So that's Sydney Star is our weirdo of the week. And that goes without question. Last but not least, this is pretty much my favorite segment of the show, is Who Got Active? Now, on today, Who Got Active? We have a somewhat unanimous individual because they have not figured out who the man is yet. But if you maybe have a clue who this guy is, reach out to him, let him know that this family he saved is trying to figure out where he is so they can thank him. But apparently, he saved the family from a burning house that was probably set, they're saying, by fireworks. And he went out his way to help them get out of there when he seen it going up in flames.
Saving them in a house fire that they believe was started by fireworks.
And they would like to thank him if they can find him. Fox says Joe Veal has the story from near Simmons and Lone Mountain.
Well, the family basically wants to thank a man for coming to their door and alerting them of the fire, which burned right next door at their neighbor's house and here as well. And they tell me most everyone was sleeping at the time, including a 14-month-old boy. Home surveillance video shows the fire really cooking on Old Town Drive on July 5th, just before 5 a.m.
Just engulfing our because he's really, really fast.
Donna Shabtai didn't want to talk on camera, but was asleep at the time, along with her 82-year-old dad and 14-month-old son. Her sister was up, but unaware of what was happening until a stranger came knocking. Shabtai believes this man saw the fire from Lone Mountain. His pounding and doorbell ringing got the dogs barking and woke everyone up.
He just screamed fire, fire, and he was pointing like towards the back of the house.
Donna got out of the home with her son in her arms. Now, because the Good Samaritans saved them, they were able to save their neighbors.
So I ran outside and I ran to the neighbors and to wake them up because they were still sleeping. So I was banging on their windows and their door.
Shabtai says the man used a hose to try and put the fire out, but then left without giving his name. So now the family has a Facebook post.
Yeah, that's him. This is our activated individual of the week. We want to thank you, unanimous brother, sir, for what you've done, man. And honor you for that, because hopefully you wasn't the nigga responsible for starting this shit. But even if you was, you did right by going and getting the people out, but your ass fucked up. At any rate, we're gonna treat this like you aren't the person that did that crazy shit. And, hopefully they find out who you are and give you your flowers. But until then, yeah, do your thing, brother. That's pretty much been our show for this evening. It's Jamerson Ballard signing off, and I will see y'all next time. Y'all have a productive week. We out.